Hi friends, welcome back. As a new initiative, I have started this where you can learn all the yellow belt content, follow it till the end, and in case you are ready with it, just share your details over a form which is available in description, and I'll share with you uh, the link for the exam, clearing which you will get your certification for Six Sigma yellow belt. Okay. Today's session is on the data collection plan, which is a part 2 of the earlier session. So why do we need a data collection plan, or why it is important in Six Sigma or anywhere else, right? So the first thing we need it in a Six Sigma project to validate the baseline measurements for the project, validate current measurement systems, get everyone on the same page. So myth busters, you can say. You need to go out of assumptions and check the data, what exactly it is, get insights and analysis of the problem what you are having, so that you can go into the root cause, check the actual state what it is, the current state or actual state, whatever you can call, what it is exactly, what has been the change in last few months. So that's why you need a data collection, and that's why data collection plans are important. Now before getting into data collection plan, the first thing you have to finalize is what data you want to collect and how you want to collect all those. Suppose, for example, you want to collect the customer feedback for a particular service or particular product area. You can do interviews, you can have some questionnaires, some surveys you can do online. You can have some observations of the historical data or some call recordings, customer care, emails from customers, whatever is available. Maybe you can do a focused group study also, very in-depth focus group studies to understand what exactly the customers are thinking. You can read out different case studies which is given in the organization itself, your organization. Then obviously the documents and the records. But while you are doing all these things, while you are planning all these things, it is important to know what data exactly you have to collect and how you want to collect it, right? Now if you don't know what types of data are there, then you might ending up in a situation where you have finished the survey but you don't have the data you needed, right? So let's take it detail on what type of data you might need, what are the types of data available or you should collect. So broadly we divide the data into two parts. One is a qualitative data, another one is a quantitative data. Qualitative data, mostly this is non-numeric. You can easily understand as data which is non-numeric. For example, how was the customer service, right? It was good, right? How is the weather today? It is hot. And instead of going into the next quantitative data, this is purely numerical, and there are other two types, but these are, you can measure this data, you can measure. So if I am saying the same thing, weather is hot today, I can say that whether it is today 35 degree Celsius, right? Or maybe 40 degrees Celsius, something, right? So you can measure quantitative data, it is a numerical. Now let me share with you a brief on each of these two. What is qualitative data? Broadly, if I define it, a data which characterizes a unit of measurement, and it is not numeric. It is a sort of open-ended. You cannot conclude anything after this. You can divide it into further various categories by collecting further informations, but you cannot divide it further. The data itself, you cannot divide it. You cannot divide it by 2, 1, 3, anything, right? So for example, good or bad product, right? You cannot divide a bad product further unless until you do another survey and find out where the product was bad. Then agreed, disagreed, right? again you cannot divide further. The agreed, then disagreed, red, yellow, green, all this can be also qualitative data, right? The types of qualification, master's degree, bachelor's degree, all this can also be qualitative data, right? Now broadly, qualitative data is again divided into 4 parts. The first one is nominal data. Nominal data, as it suggests, it is sort of naming. You name something, right? For example, what is your gender, male, female, what is your age, 12, 13, 14, right? Though age still can be, you might be thinking 12 is a quantitative, but here I am asking about the age, right? So now suppose I am 30 years old, then you cannot divide me into 15 years, right? That's how it's a nominal data. Now ordinal data, as it suggests, is sort of response which can be put in a order form, right? You can order this. Say for example, are you happy, very unhappy, I am okay, sort of, right? Then happy, very happy. Again, you can also order this in terms of the previous questions like male, female. You can standardize that questionnaire, right, while you are in a data collection plan. You can also have a interval data. Interval data, it's a sort of response which can be put in a interval form. For example, what is your age, right? 20, 25, 25 to 30, some sort of this, right? So this is another sort of interval. Ratio is a sort of response which you can use it in terms of different ratios. Say for example, dosage, right? Medicine dosage. So dose 1 can be of 6 ml, then 2 dose you can use of 12 ml. Then the flow rate, suppose what is flow rate? Flow rate means suppose the water flow rate, right? So this many liters per minute, then I can multiply it. So I can say that 5 minutes I can I just need to multiply by that n number of liters per minute, right? Then pulse. Now the difference between interval and ratio data is there is something, the 0 has a value in ratio. For example, temperature in Kelvin can be in ratio data, not in interval data, right? So 0 does make sense in terms of ratio data. Say for example, 0 dosage, right? It makes sense because no dose, right? 0 flow rate means the water is stopped. But in interval data, if we say that the flow is from 0 to 10, then we don't know actually where it is, right? It doesn't make any sense. So while you plan for your data collection, knowing this type of data and categorizing them into what exactly you need would help you to understand what to collect exactly and how to collect those, right? Now quantitative data, I think this is the simplest of data to understand since it is numeric, but only difference is there is a discrete type and there is a continuous type. What is a discrete data? Discrete data is a data which is built up with continuous data, but you cannot further divide it, right? Say for example, you are collecting a sample, it involves and you're saying how many children you have, right? And so the answers can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It cannot be 1.5. You cannot have 1.5 children, right? So for discrete data, it cannot be divided further. It can be whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But this is made up of continuous data, right? Continuous data on the other hand could be divided and reduced to finer and finer levels, right? Suppose centimeters, you can divide the centimeters into millimeters and beyond also, right? So height is a continuous data, right? For example, time, can you divide the time into further intervals? After second maybe a nanosecond, right? Similarly, say for example any money currencies, you can divide it, right? You can divide it into further up to decimal levels also you can divide it. So that's what is the difference between discrete and continuous data. I hope you understood how to apply it, and if you have any doubts, any questions, do share in the comment sections and I'll respond to it. Next session we will have on the define, describe and apply measurement system analysis and its terms, which is extremely important in Six Sigma, and describe how and why gauge R&R is used in the measurement phase. Thank you.